tobacco-free life, you're free to live more fully. You're free to be more active and to breathe easier when you are, to be more present with family and friends, and to enjoy food and drinks more fully without nicotine dulling your senses. Tobacco-free can mean better physical health, mental health, and financial health. Giving up tobacco can give you more life. Learn more at quitnow.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired in association with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Krekak of State Farm Insurance. Nebraska Volleyball just wrapped up another match. Join former Husker Mandy Monson as she breaks down the game from the hard swings and perfect sets to the diving digs and precision passing. 93.7 The Ticket's post-game coverage of Nebraska Volleyball starts now.
All right, welcome in to the Nebraska Volleyball Postgame Show. We got Mandy Monson, the host, as always. To my left, Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. You guys are welcome to join in. 402-464-5685. That is the Sartor Heyman text line. You can put a face to the voice. Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo Channel 961. And again, the Huskers stay undefeated. They move to 11 and, or excuse me, I almost gave Michigan's record. They go to 11-0. Michigan drops 10-2. Nebraska does it in a sweep. And Mandy, as you said off air, pretty quickly, too.
Oh, yeah. It was fast.
Really fast.
So it was under 90 minutes. So now here's what's great about after the matches, especially on a fast match, if there's a positive to it, right? So everybody hasn't been strapped for time. And I was a little bit later getting here because it's starting to get to be the fall season, which means in western part of Nebraska, they're slowing down a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. The crops are the corn's getting ready to be picked, but not quite as busy. And I was so thankful that I saw one of my hometown friends from Wallace, Nebraska. I saw Stacy Kuhlman. So, and I just want to say hi to Stacy and say hi to the Kuhlman family. Stacey was like, yep, I didn't have anything else to do. Ryan had everything, getting set to pick wet corn. And here I am at the volleyball game. So like, you never know who you're going to see. The other person that I saw as we were exiting Devaney after that very fast win was Jamie Stidheit, who is Jamie Krondak. And I played with Jamie Krondak from 96 through 98. So another former Husker, lots of people at Devaney tonight. Like, for a first match conference game against Michigan. Now, Michigan had a great record, guys. So like, they came in looking pretty strong. Now, when you look at their competition for their preseason, matches, there wasn't a whole lot that stood out to me. Now, they did have one loss to Virginia. Yeah, they played Virginia twice. They lost to Virginia in 5. But, I was really pleased to see a full Devaney, or for the most part, pretty full.
Yeah.
And the crowd was in it tonight. They were in it. So, it was a great match. It was a great offensive match by the Huskers. I think Becca Alec heard me put her on the dream team for the Huskers. She had a fantastic match. In fact, let me see, what was her? She was the who's clicking it tonight at the match. And anyway, she had a great match. She hit 412. She had 9 kills. She had some great blocks. So, the Huskers just looked really strong. I mean, they really offensively dominated Michigan when you look at the box scores, really from about every facet. So, Michigan, only hit 108, and Nebraska.
Ooh,
yeah,
I didn't even see that.
It was
tough
pretty,
day for 'em.
Right. We play the matches to play, right. You got to compete.
Right.
But I will say what's exciting about, beginning this Big Ten season and having this first match against Michigan. Michigan had a really strong record. We came out strong, and I didn't even see us really even think twice about what we were doing.
And with that being said, that's honestly a great spot to go ahead and throw it to break, because we are at the top of the hour already. But again, I encourage you guys, you can continue listening, whatever you're doing. If you need to, you can get the Ticket app, you can get the streams, or you can continue listening the way you are. But 402-464-5685, that is the Sartor Heyman text line. We're going to keep breaking this thing down at least for another hour or so. So don't go anywhere, right here, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the 2nd season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Amigos is celebrating 45 years with exclusive Nebraska Legends collectible cups featuring Tom Osborne, John Cook, and some of your favorite Huskers. For every cup sold, 50 cents goes to teammates. Show your Big Red pride by getting all 4 of these collectible cups at Amigos.
This is Tom Osborne with the Teammates Mentoring Program. We have students on the waiting list for a mentor, and we want you to join the team. Learn more about mentoring and support teammates by visiting Amigos.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Limitless Male says, it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Back to Nebraska Volleyball Postgame on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, former Nebraska outside hitter, Mandy Monson.
All right, welcome back in. As I said, this is the Volleyball Postgame Show, segment number 2, kicking off the hour here. I think we got the host, as always, Mandy Monson to my left. Nebraska takes down Michigan in a sweep 3-0. As you mentioned it, very quickly. I was doing a filler segment while that game was going on. I was like, we'll do the first segment here, and hopefully by then, and it was about 19 minutes in, go up to about 25. I'm like, oh, the game's over. I missed it. I guess we'll just go to break right now, guys. So again, really shows to the dominance. And to your point, they kept their metal or their foot on the metal the entire way through. Mandy, without going into the box scores, we'll do that quickly. But just what were the main things that really stuck out to you about this Nebraska team from set 1 that carried all the way through? Because to your point, it felt like it was consistent.
Yeah, kind of like what I touched on in the very beginning segment is, sometimes when a team comes into playing a match where, you really are probably going to be playing an inferior team, although I'm not saying Michigan's inferior by any means. Again, they had a very good record, 10-1, but they're definitely preseason schedule compared to Nebraska's preseason schedule that was not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think when you're a great team like Nebraska is, sometimes you can kind of phone it in, but they did not do that at all. I mean, I really felt like they came out very strong. They came out very focused. I thought really the all-around game was just really solid tonight. And like I said, sometimes when you're playing an inferior team, that's actually kind of tough because you just don't, more competitive teams, sometimes you can honestly anticipate more what's happening, when you're playing a team that's, not quite at the level that you're at. There's a lot of kind of odd balls or off balls that can happen. And I just really felt like the Huskers, again, were very focused offensively, defensively. You can see it in the box scores. I mean, we really just really outplayed them at about every statistic possible.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go through some of the team comparisons right now. So right here for kills, Nebraska 47, Michigan 24. Hitting percentages, Nebraska 0.38 in Michigan. We talked about before 0.108. Service errors, Nebraska 7, Michigan with 8. Digs, Nebraska had 37, Michigan 24. And just for some individual stats over here for Nebraska, Harper Murray, 11 kills with a hitting percentage of 0.39. And you mentioned it for Rebecca Alex. She had 9 kills. Andy Jackson with 8. Bergen Riley racks up 5. Taylor Landfair.
The setter.
Solid.
The setter's like, listen, I'm getting in on this action tonight. It's happening. 5 kills.
Incredible.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
To your point, though, like if you want to wrap these things up in a hurry, you're going to get some unexpected performances, some just really good, impressive volleyball from everybody around. It felt like everybody had a moment in that game where they're just making sure their presence was felt.
Yeah, and I think the 5 kills by Bergen, but just the other thing too that I noticed tonight, that sometimes again when you're playing a team that just isn't quite at the level that you are, is you can, like, your presence isn't quite as there. That was not the case tonight. I think Andy Jackson also heard me not put her on the dream team list because she had, and I don't know what Baylor and Lauren decided the hit of the game was, but there was an overpass that came to Andy Jackson and it was, within the 10-foot line. So, they were just very focused. Becca was very focused. Bergen was very focused. There was a play tonight during the match, and I've actually seen Bergen do this more than once now. What I love about Bergen, and going back to her, her 5-kill night, and I'm looking at her set assists, she just takes control of the court as a setter. So, for example, they were in transition. It was a ball that was dug close to the net. Mm-hmm. Rebecca was in the way a little bit. That happens to middles, right? Like they're blocking, they're coming off the net, having to transition. It can get really tight there. And Bergen pretty much just moved Becca out of the way, which, Becca's a force. So she's also not easy to move. Absolutely. And Bergen was like, get out of the way. I have to set the ball. And either Harper or Taylor Landfair got a kill. But I think that's the type of commitment to focus and presence that they demonstrated tonight. And, it showed in the numbers and showed in their play.
Yeah, and there's something that's really cool about this team again. It's early in the season. We just opened up conference play.
I know.
But you just feel like there is a level of focus. And there's one thing the volleyball team does, and I, ironically and jokingly, although sometimes I wish I wouldn't have to all the time, is, when you compare it to the Nebraska football team and Nebraska volleyball, there is something about Nebraska volleyball where, as a fan, you trust them more often than not to have that it factor. You saw it in that reverse sweep versus Kentucky. When things aren't going their way, there's no sinking feeling in the chest where, maybe you'll feel that when you watch Husker football. With Husker volleyball, you can have some really tough moments, and there's always kind of that calm in the storm. And, you credit John Cook for really setting up that culture, but then Busboom Kelly so far to start off this year, it's still holding true, at least to what I'm seeing.
Oh, totally. And I think, the Husker football team, like we'll get there.
Yeah.
I believe that. I think what the volleyball team has right now that the football team doesn't have is they have reps in winning.
Yes.
Right. So, Coach Rule, who I have
trying.
so much respect for him. But I mean, just from a former athlete and from, I love athletics and I love competition. I think the football team will get there. They gotta win more. They gotta know that they're going to win more. They gotta know that they're going to be competitive. And that's what the volleyball team has right now. I talked a little bit about it last week in that, this team, I think because one, they're so committed to the team. And again, John, obviously, right, had an amazing 25-year tenure. And he did such a great job of, having great teams, winning teams, national championships. And so that when players come to Nebraska, and by the way, it was like that when I was there, in the 90s. I think that's the tradition that the volleyball team has, not the football. Obviously, the football team has the national championships and they have tradition. They had a gap where we went through some things, and Cook did such a great job of basically not having a gap, and so and then Danny in coming in again. I just really enjoy watching her coach. Guys, if you who are on the air and listening, if you would just ever kind of sit back and watch her coach and watch her team of coaches coach, I think that just has such an effect on the presence of this team. And, again, why was that win against Kentucky so impressive, similar to Creighton, is because we have multiple players at every position. And what I love about this team and what I love about the bench is, listen, everybody's dialed in. Like tonight, again, really with this show that we're doing, we want to really look at it like, what's the fan's perspective? What does that look like? Like what's the bench doing? What are the players doing? What are the coaches doing? And again, when you have a match where you're really dominating the match, sometimes even on the bench, you can kind of be like, okay, what's the training table tonight? Am I going to get training table? Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll treat myself and go out, or, what homework do I have? I think I might have some like that wasn't happening. That's my point. Even the bench was dialed in. At one point, I was just watching, Tara Sigler was on the bench. So she comes in and plays defense, and she does a great job serving. And I think she had a kill, I think from the back row, but they're just, I think they're all dialed in. I think they're all dialed into the game plan. And I think, when they are needed, if they are needed as a starter or they are needed to come off the bench, everybody's ready.
Yeah, and so far you've been seeing that. Some tough. I mean, Busboom Kelly's had been some situations stuff where she's had to make some decisions. So far, it's paid out where she's had to look for answers. She's been able to find them on her bench, which is huge for a coach. And you always know a coach is in trouble when you see them staring at the bench for too long, because it knows they're staring at the bench and they don't see any answers on there.
Well, they're in their head. They're like, they're there's risk reward, and they're like, okay. is it a greater risk to keep a player out there that's struggling, or is it a greater risk to take someone from the bench? And I don't know everything, but I would say with this team, if you have a player that's struggling on the floor in matches, the risk is less to let someone else come in. I'm not telling her how to do her job. I'm just saying, as a fan's perspective, I think, and a great point that you make is that, you just don't kind of have to do that back and forth in your head as a coach, because, they've been dialed in. And the other thing too, obviously the coaches will know based on practice and what has happened during the week. But yeah, I just think that's a huge value, and really what puts us at number one. That's why we're at number one.
It wasn't all the top ranked wins and non-con that we just racked up. The number 6, the number 7,
Keep it
18.
coming. Keep it going.
I'm missing one. What was, who am I blanking on? What was the last ranked win we just had?
We just beat Creighton.
Creighton was 18.
I was like,
and then Kentucky was
Kentucky.
ranked.
Yeah.
Stanford. That was the one we were missing.
Wait, Pitt.
Yeah, Pitt to open the year. So 3 and then 6. And 6 was the one I was missing. That was Stanford. When we played them, I'm not sure where they sit right now. But.
Yeah, I'm not sure as well. But yeah, I just such a fun team to watch. Olivia Mouch played great tonight. She's a libero. She sometimes, again, our passers can get distracted, right? The big board, the fans, they were dialed in. And here, so volleyball is a game of serve and pass. You'll hear anyone that talks about volleyball say that over and over again. And, with who we have in the libero position, whether it's Olivia or whether it's Lainey, and then you have, Tara coming in, we just have such a strong passing group that it then allows Bergen, who's amazing, to really be diverse with the offense. And when you take a look, right, when you take a look at kills, when you look at the box score, right, I mean, that's just what's so fun about this team is, the kills are, pretty spread out. Virginia, my gosh, she is so fun to watch. I know I said this last week too.
You're not wrong, though.
No, I'm not. I'm totally right. She and Bergen set her really well tonight. Yes. The passers passed the ball great. Bergen set Virginia really well. She made great decisions, and she found the open holes, and was a dominant force as well. So, they did an excellent job. I think, this is just the beginning of the marathon of the Big Ten. So I think to have such a strong match really sets them up well to have that confidence and continue. And by the way, too, they're an amazing team, but they'll be tested this year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so that's why, though, all the matches that they come out and that they are intentional and that they have presence, right? That's just the opportunity for them to continue to perform well, continue to have that confidence. And going back to the comment you said earlier about, as a fan, I just feel confident. That's what they need to do. That's what they're doing to, take us through that Big Ten conference.
Yeah, and it's always it's interesting to see, because when you get to conference play, like, you can go look at rankings X, Y, and Z, and especially for someone like Busboom Kelly coming in here, these coaches know each other. They know these systems. They know what these teams like to do.
Right.
How different is what Busboom Kelly's doing, just in your eyes, compared to what John Cook was doing? Is it going to be a real big curveball for these other Big Ten coaches, or does it look pretty similar to what John Cook was doing with his teams?
Well, I mean, what I observe and again, what you hear but you see it on the court is Danny is having them compete more in actual, like, live game type situations in practice. So I think she has done a great job of really just having them play more in practice, right? So if you do repetitions over and over again, right, drills are drills. And I'm not saying that Cook didn't do that, and I wasn't in every practice that he had, but I would say a big, and the players talk about this too whenever, they're interviewed. But I think what we see that Danny has done is, she's put him in more playing type situations in practice. And when you do that over and over again in practice, and by the way, you're essentially competing against another All-American team on the other side of the net, then when you come in and play another Big Ten opponent, Michigan, 10-1, you're used to that game type play. So it's not, you're used to playing at that level, so it's not foreign to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then through the stretch of the Big Ten play, is it, one of those things where, because what is it, about 20 games, right? I want to say as far as like Big Ten goes,
Yeah.
roughly around there.
Maybe more, but yes.
Is it hard, just in your experience, like to just keep that iron focus throughout that Big Ten play?
Yes.
Where, okay.
Yes. I mean, like, it is a grind in that, right? You're coming into practice every day. You're competing. All these players on the roster want to be on the court, right?
Also want to have a good GPA.
And they want to have a good GPA, 1000%. Yes. So, you can kind of get to mid-season and, it can be a grind as an athlete, right? I mean, listen, being a student athlete and playing at Nebraska was one of the most impactful things in my life. And I loved it. I would not trade it for anything, like nothing. But it is a mental exercise in survival of the fittest. It really is. And the other thing, going back to your question on, Coach Cook and Danny, I think also what Danny is really doing well, and what I see as, I don't know if it's a difference, but I mean, I just think she has such a good rapport with this team, even though coming in new, even though being ushered in by a great coach that had great rapport with that
I think
team.
the key word though was ushered. It helps that trust was there with Cook, and it's like, all right, Cook says you guys are in good hands. You mentioned the assistant coaches. Well, it's not like the head coach. You still got a guy like Jalen Reyes there, who's been phenomenal.
Yes, and Kelly Hunt.
Kelly Hunt as well.
So, but I think there's that connection there, and I think it's a very committed, professional, caring connection. And you can see that. And I think you can see that in the ease when she coaches the players and when she's having conversations with them, because, sometimes it's not easy, like, listen, these players, if you're a high level athlete, you're probably a type A person, right? You're competing, coach is probably right. I mean, these are just driven humans, right? And sometimes, it's not easy, and it's not with ease. But I think that's why, Coach Busbin is such a professional, and she's really leading her athletes to be mentally and physically strong. And you can see that in the way that they, interact with each other. I mean, it's very businesslike, but they're also having fun.
Yeah, well, that's always the edge. That is, doesn't mean you have to have it, but if you former player coaches have, because they can just go quite up, be like, yes, I've been in your same shoes. I know what it's like to be an athlete and a student at the same time, different eras or different times, sure, but I was there once before.
Yeah, and I think you've experienced it, so you know what that's like to get done with a match on Wednesday night, and you have to go back and study. Like that's real, because you have to go to class the next day, and your professors, even though the professors at UNL are great, and usually if you talk to your professors and say, hey, had a match, whatever, but when you're a high level athlete and a high level person, you're also not phoning it in, or the volleyball team. I can tell the volleyball team's not phoning it in, the next day when they go to class. So yeah, I think when you're a coach and you've experienced that, and you know what that's like, you really can connect with your players, because you can have that empathy and understanding of what that's like to compete day in and day out on the court, whether it's practice or having a match, and then you go compete in the classroom, because like you said, they're all student athletes, and they're working towards their college degrees as well.
Yeah, it's always one of my favorite things is before we throw it to break here, we always have every now and then, you'll have some people with the comments of like, oh, student athletes got it so easy. And like, just really calculate the amount of hours. It's like, yes, you get some nice facilities, you get, some Adidas shoes or whatever, but it's like really start adding up how many hours it takes to be a premier athlete, and then take all the hours that were put in before you got any of the nice stuff, and then the school part, even the bowlers a lot of times they're leaving Wednesday night or Thursday. They're gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back Monday, 2 a.m.,
Yes.
early in the morning, and then class 7 a.m. Monday.
Yeah.
And then, you get a day off lifting, but there's always that kind of misnomer. And I think if people you really think about it, and especially with volleyballs, they'll have more of these mid-week games that student life, it's a tough one. And it helps when you got a coach like Busboom Kelly, who in my mind, again, it's kind of been through it. She knows what it's like to be a player, and now she's coaching as well. So I think that helps with that kind of respect. And of course, John Cook ushering in always helps as well. With that being said, though, we do got to throw it to our first break. Don't go anywhere. We'll go to the top of the hour. Nebraska Volleyball Postgame Show as they sweep Michigan at home. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Amigos is celebrating 45 years with exclusive Nebraska Legends collectible cups featuring Tom Osborne, John Cook, and some of your favorite Huskers. For every cup sold, 50 cents goes to teammates. Show your Big Red pride by getting all 4 of these collectible cups at Amigos.
This is Tom Osborne with the Teammates Mentoring Program. We have students on the waiting list for a mentor, and we want you to join the team. Learn more about mentoring and support teammates by visiting Amigos.
An overdose can happen in front of you and you might not realize it. Blue lips, slowed breathing, pinpoint pupils, choking sounds, unresponsive to touch or sounds. These signs aren't always obvious, but they can be deadly. Knowing what to do could save your friend, your neighbor, your child. Learn more by visiting myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can be ready before it happens. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to Nebraska Volleyball Postgame on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, former Nebraska outside hitter, Mandy Monson.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2, segment number 2 of hour number 2. If you guys want to join in, start a him and text line or via any of the streams. We're going to talk a little bit about what's ahead here. But before we do so, we got the host as always, Mandy Monson to my left. I want to ask you, did you guys go like MVPs, game awards that you guys just gave out individually last week?
Did we do MVPs last week?
Yeah, well, I know DP was like, hey, name a dream team
Well,
and really put you on the spot.
man, you put me on the spot. That dream. Like DP, like I need that question beforehand. I need to make sure and be able to go back to the recesses of my brain. But I thought about that. I liked my choices. Yeah, it took. I got a little like brain freeze, but the MVP of. Do you want me to do tonight's game?
I'm thinking just like per game basis. So because every game, it's always somebody steps up and.
Yeah, I'd have to say probably the first. The first set. I think the passers just always get everything going, and we played so strong through the whole match. And so if you can be consistent in your passing, it just it gives you the offense. It gives you the options on offense. So I'm going to give it to the passers in game 1. In game 2, I'm pretty sure that's when Andy Jackson had that amazing kill.
Yes.
It was awesome. She gets an MVP for set 2. And then, Virginia really looked strong in set 3, but again, I can't, it's hard to do MVPs. They all really played strong. And again, I got to go back to, Becca Alex. She was very strong tonight. She was just a really great presence on the floor. And Harper Murray's Harper Murray.
Yeah. I think that's the hard part.
She just, she's so dynamic and she makes it look very easy and efficient. So
yeah, 7 digs as well.
Yeah. And then, sorry, I got to throw Bergen in there. Bergen's just running the show and she got 5 kills. So good job on being an offensive threat and moving Becca out of the way to, set Harper.
Colton and Oprah Winfrey. Everyone just gets an MVP. But to your point,
you get an MVP. You get an MVP. Hey, Coach Busboom, you get an MVP.
Honestly, though, they all probably deserve. This was one of those games, though, where, to your point, all the way going full circle here, at the beginning, you do not have a sweep like this where, what was the second, third set?
Well, the second set was
10 to 25, third set 13 to 25.
Yeah.
You don't get games like that unless you have, I know it's impossible, multiple MVPs where
Correct.
You just have point after point to set after set. There's somebody else stepping up in a big way. If it's not one person, it's multiple people all at the same time.
Right. And I think that's why, as we continue to go through the Big Ten, guys, we got a lot of season, which this is exciting, right? This is our first year of having the post-game show, right? We got a lot of season, but that means that, throughout the season, we will be tested. Like we just will. And so for everybody to be an MVP tonight is great because everybody is establishing their presence. They are establishing themselves. And that whole team is saying, hey, like we're coming out strong. Everybody's dialed in. And so, because that also sets the stage for the other teams, right? That we're going to be, there's just something that can be very intimidating, right? When your opponent is playing really tough. And so I would think, as teams start to, scout us, I mean, look, okay. So when you look at the box score, what are you going to scout, Harrison? Where's the weak spot? I'm sure Danny knows the weak spot. She's working on that every day. But like from this match, I can't say that there was anything that was overly, glaring, which is great. That's going to make it difficult for teams to, scout us and put together a great game plan. But the Big Ten's great. So listen, it's going to there's plenty of amazing teams in the Big Ten that are, gonna give us competition. But yeah, MVPs for all. Everybody gets one.
I like it.
Let's go.
It's been impressive, and you're just gonna want, if you want to continue this streak. I think, what is it, 2 out of the last 3 years undefeated through non-con? We got that backwards. Maybe it's a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, it might be a little bit longer.
Maybe I was last 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
Maybe I shortened the window a little bit too much.
I think so. Yeah.
But, when you're in Nebraska, there is a art to being number one. You don't want to be an opportunity for others. You want to be the nightmare on their schedule. And with the games like this, there's always going to be that target on your back. But I think if you can just keep playing the way you are, like that fear factor does start to become real. And those can be some teams that step up to the challenge and they're not scared of Nebraska. And those will be those games we talked about. But, when you get to this level, and as long as you don't let that ego kind of take over your own, or if you're still putting in dedication, like that number one becomes less of an opportunity and more of a nightmare for other teams if you respect how you got there.
Yeah. And if I could, you asked me the question last session about, what do you think Danny's doing a great job, this year, not necessarily compared to Cook, but what I do think is different about this year's team, if we're doing a comparison to last year's team, I think last year's team, they were so focused on winning the national championship. I think it potentially then when they got to that championship game, it almost kind of overrode the point of the team, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then it was that national championship match was a tough match. And so that's like a difference of playing to win, playing for the team because we're dialed in, we're focused, we know we're a great team, regardless if we win the national championship or not, and being honestly almost maybe too focused on winning the national championship to prove yourself that you can't. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Listen, for an athlete, it is a very fine line from being driven by winning to having it actually be a detriment to you. And I think this year's team, what I observe is that they are not just, yes, they want to win a national championship, but that's not their overriding thing, which I think that from a perspective can, I don't want to say it reduces the pressure, but I actually talked to my girls about, my oldest daughter is a volleyball player in high school. My youngest daughter is a competitive dancer. And when I say dance is competitive, like that, it's no joke. But what we talk about in our household is that, it really is, everybody talks, it's the journey. It really is the journey, right? And if you do the reps, if you come in committed, if you are coachable, right? If you put aside the ego and only winning, I'm so focused on winning. We have to win this match. I have to win this competition. If your value, right, it's really where's my value? Am I putting my value on the external, which is getting the win? If that's where your value's at, you actually are at more risk of getting beat. See what I'm saying? If the value is, did I give it my all in practice? Did I do the reps? Was I coachable? Did I do my meal planning? Did I, get enough rest? And you take that journey, then winning is just a result of the journey because you find value in the process, in the experience. And I think that is a key differentiating factor between this year's team compared to last year's team. My observation.
That's a great observation. So great that I'm not going to counter it. I don't think I could say it any better myself. And you would know better as an athlete as well. But I mean, I think it's good to point out because I've talked to enough former athletes at this point, and they'll do shows on weeknights where you kind of hear that. Where, again, for bowling, they're kind of in the similar shoes as the volleyball program.
The bowling team is awesome.
Yep. Similar.
And by the way, they've been awesome for 30 years.
Never missed the postseason once.
Yeah.
Like just insane territory to be in. So shout out Coach Klempa.
Yes.
And all the Husker bowlers.
Out. Yeah.
But there is kind of that expectation of them not to go out and win every competition. But what did we look like? Did we have our own? Did I live up to my own standard, regardless of what that end picture was?
Yeah. Well, did you do the work to win?
Yes. There you go.
Going back to football. I love football, right? And the Huskers are amazing. I'm not saying they're not doing the work to win, but it's that doing the work to win over and over and over and over again. And whether if you win or not, no matter if you win or not, do you come back and do the work to win again the next match, the next game, the next practice? Because this is being a Division I athlete at the University of Nebraska is no joke, you guys. Like the pressure on every athlete at the school it can be crushing at sometimes. And so I think that's where if you are putting in the work mentally, physically, and you're giving it your all. And again, your value is not based on meaning, hey, do I feel good about myself? If I won or if you only feel good about yourself if you win, wow. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Because if that's as well, all your value is, if you're the number one rated team and you're having to defend, a no loss season, that can really be crushing. So, I just think there's a lot of power in, one, knowing that you can win, and it's really knowing that you're prepared. Did I prepare? If you're prepared, then you go out and compete, and whatever happens. You don't, you control the controllables, and you do the best you can. And I think that's what this team does, and that's what they did tonight. I think that's why they were so dominating.
Absolutely. Before we get out of here, again, we just got a couple minutes left here. The next game coming up for Nebraska, another one at home, September 27th, this Saturday. They do got Maryland coming, and that one's 3 p.m. Fantastic. Everybody can go there, check it out. There's no Husker football this weekend as those guys are on a bye, so I'd anticipate a full house down there at the Bob, but we got to throw it to break, so don't go anywhere. There's starts on the ones and twos. We got Mandy still to my left, the host as always. We'll talk to you guys in just a little bit.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Bring new life to metal treasures with Kaiser Blasting and Coatings. From railings and fences to outdoor furniture and unique antiques, their expert team removes years of rust and weathering, then finishes each piece with a lasting powder coat. Trusted by industries across the region, now local homeowners and businesses can experience the same professional care. Visit KaiserBlasting.com or call 402-421-3559 to request your quote. Restore, protect, and make your metal shine like never before with the help of Kaiser Blasting and Coatings.
Gainett Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gainett Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gainett Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainettTrucking.com.
Back to Nebraska Volleyball Postgame on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is your host, former Nebraska outside hitter, Mandy Monson.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment of the Nebraska Volleyball Postgame Show, but don't go anywhere. We do got Chris Raff coming up next. He'll join me for another hour. He is back in Lincoln, but we got about 7 minutes left here, and we still got some more volleyball the breakdown before we move on to the next show. So, Mandy, I know you kind of hinted at it off air here. Let's talk about a little bit on development and some kind of key areas down the road here that this team, well, in an opinion, but you'd like to see in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing such a great job. Man, that's kind of hard to be.
You got to be nitpicky. I mean,
Yeah. I'll put some pressure on them for serving then, although they're a great serving team, but I think the stronger that they can continue to be in serving, right, that just puts the other team's offense out of system, which we want that. So by no means am I saying that because I think we're a very efficient serving team, but I mean, based on tonight's performance, I mean, honestly, I just don't have a whole lot of corrective feedback. They all played really well. I mean, we have so much athleticism. I don't think I've seen any back row attacks from Andy, maybe the last 2 matches. She's such an explosive athlete. I mean, Andy Jackson is just nuts.
Yeah.
So Sigler, Harper, I mean, I think they both had some attacks. So I think as we move into the Big Ten Conference, you'll probably see some more development of that back row offensive game. And to me, I think to see Andy be a part of that would be good. She's just, I don't know how her vertical is.
It's insane.
It's insanity.
You see it. There's just certain people I watch, and it just puts my vertical to shame.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of vertical, I got a story.
All right, let's hear it.
So back in the day, I have a little recruiting story. Some people might find this interesting, some people might not. But when I was getting recruited to come to Nebraska, I wanted to come to Nebraska. I really did. And obviously, Nebraska is a very competitive school, and they had scholarships. And so for a while, I was kind of waiting in the wings. There was another out-of-state kid that they were looking at. And so I was just,
Was Nebraska the one like on top of that mountain?
It was number one. It was number one.
Still,
So
okay.
I took visits at Nebraska, K-State, Ohio State, Clemson, and the University of South Carolina. My 1 and 2 was, number 1 was Nebraska. Number 2 was Ohio State. And I about went to Ohio State because Nebraska kind of, they delayed a little long, but then basically Ohio State called me and said, "Hey, like we have an in-state kid that wants to go here. So we're going to give you 24 hours and you can either take it or not. We'd love to have you." Anyway, within that 24-hour period, Nebraska offered me, and here's how they did it. So Coach Pettit, God bless Coach Pettit. So he really liked to recruit all around athletes.
Yeah.
He was okay taking someone green and then
Matt Rule is pretty similar. Give me an athlete.
He is. And I love that about Coach Rule.
Mm-hmm.
He does and he's doing an amazing job with the football team.
Mm-hmm.
So Coach Pettit calls the school and calls my volleyball coach and says, "Hey, I want you to have Mandy to go down to the gym. And if she can touch the rim, right, 10 feet, then it's hers."
How tall were you?
How tall was I? 6 foot.
Okay, so still need decent vert.
So I literally, I'm not kidding you. I was like, okay.
Have you done it before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were like, I got this.
But I mean, can you believe that? Hey, have her go down to the gym and touch the basketball hoop, and if she can do that, demonstrate that, then she gets a full ride scholarship.
Why was that so important to make sure the vertical was legit?
I have no idea. I don't know if he was just Coach Pettit, if you're listening to this, I don't know if he's just testing me or what. But anyway, by the way, my vertical was not like Andy Jackson's. I mean, when you watch her play, her armpits are above the net.
Yeah.
So like if I would, ladies, young man and young ladies, if I was any player today, but and this is actually something that Coach Pettit said all the time when we were playing. Listen, if there is someone that is demonstrating a skill, and you want to have that skill, you need to watch that player, and especially now on phones, you guys, we got these things.
You can watch it in 4K if you really want.
Yes,
you can see literally the muscle fibers move
Correct.
Resolution.
I would watch, if I was a middle, I would watch Andy Jackson every time I could on YouTube, and I would try and emulate her.
I'd try to do anything to get that vertical, even if I'm not it's
no
insane.
joke.
No, and that's some of those athletes. To me, it's always the real flexible athletes. The athletes, because even like in high school, the guys I grew up with that were really flexible, those were always the best leapers too, because there's something about their muscles being able to just bend and snap that gave them some insane verticality. And and thank goodness we have awesome facilities here in Nebraska, and we'll keep really pushing it. But I think a lot of it's just getting that flexibility down. As I see Chris Rath, who's up for our next hour here, but a couple minutes left. I want to ask the host of the show just final closing remarks on Husker volleyball, this performance, and then coming up again, I believe it's Maryland at home. Give me one key to victory on that, although there are many.
Key to victory for Maryland?
Yeah, final thoughts on the last game where we just swept Michigan. And
well,
then
I feel like I'm, kind of like singing the same song. But listen, we came out tough. We played dialed in, and they're going to have to do that throughout the entire Big Ten. If they can do that, if they can continue to have a diverse offense, if they can then start to work in things like more offense from the back row, just to, again, that's not because the front row struggles, because it absolutely doesn't. But this is why we're going to win the national championship, is because there is not any position on the court that we cannot score from. And I love Husker volleyball, and I have been breathing it and watching it. I think this team is the team. I don't know that we've had as strong of team before that can score in every single position. I'm not saying that other teams haven't been great teams. I just think that's, I think this team has that. So I think when we go in against Maryland, right, again, this is an opponent that is not most likely not going to be as competitive. I'm not saying they're not they're in the Big Ten. They have a very good record. They're going to be a great opponent. But I think if we can keep working on our controllables, working on our staying in system, serving strong, passing strong, right? That's what we want to keep doing.
Absolutely. With that being said, we will go ahead and get out of here. But to your point, Maryland 7-3 on the season, got a current 2-game win streak going. Their losses being North Carolina and Coastal Carolina early in the year, but they are on a 2-game win streak, beating Seton Hall as well as Coppin State. So with that being said, we do got to go ahead and get out of here. We got Chris Raff coming up next, though. Appreciate you guys listening. This has been the Nebraska Volleyball Postgame Show. I'm Harrison Arns. That is Mandy Monson. Don't go anywhere, though. We'll keep it rolling.
Let's go.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made